And we are live. What's up, world? It's your boy C's from the CZLife.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Fitpro Development Podcast. Today, we have personal entrepreneur and personal development coach, Sydney Sterrett, sorry.
There
Sterrett.
you
I
go.
just asked her name off camera too. But anyway, welcome, Sydney. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me. And yeah, it's okay.
Thank you
Everyone
for
messes that last name up, so it's all good.
Sterrett. Okay. Thank you for joining us. I'm looking forward to hearing about your journey in
Yeah.
entrepreneurship and personal development. So, for those of you who don't know who Sydney is, can you explain who you are, where you currently reside, and what it is that you currently do?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm Sydney Sterrett. I am 23 years old. I am a personal development and mindset coach, specifically for people in their 20s. But I've been really getting into the younger crowd, especially children of divorce and younger athletes. So, kind of all over the place, got a lot of different little niches. I'm currently living in Sarasota, Florida, which has been a very recent and very exciting new move. I'm literally in the transition of moving into my new apartment. So, whole new whirlwind over here for me, but I am absolutely loving every second of it.
That is awesome. That is very interesting. That is like
Yeah.
I often talk about niches, and the
Mhm.
fact that you brought up that's very specific niches like kids of
Mhm.
divorce, like that
Yep.
is big because I know a lot of kids who grow up in broken homes and they don't really have that father figure or mother figure,
Right.
and they're like looking for like an internet big sister, right? They're looking for
Right.
someone to latch onto, whether it's like TikTok or whatever the social media platform. But that is big, man. Like that is, I'm interested in figuring, like asking
Yeah.
how you got into that. So tell us the story of like how you like said, I'm going to bet on myself and take that journey in entrepreneurship and personal development.
So it goes back about 5, 6 years. Back in 2017, I actually go back a little further. I am a child of divorce, and I also was a competitive gymnast growing up. So I believe what we go through is what we're here on this earth to teach and provide. And any of our hardships can be learned as our greatest blessings and what we're supposed to share to the world. So that's kind of why I picked those two things. But going back to 2017, I graduated high school a year early, and I was working for someone who had she actually did network marketing. And so there was always that kind of like personal development side. You can do as good as you want or as not good as you want. And I've also saw they're kind of run their own businesses too. So that was a huge mentor for me. She got me involved with a lady who was the president of the Jack Canfield Company, who, if you don't know who Jack Canfield is, he wrote all of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Hmm.
And I watched him, it was an event, and I watched him on stage once, and my world changed. I was always like starting to get into that personal development, like we can create our own reality and our past, and we're just products of our environment and what that means in the subconscious mind. So I started like really kind of get interested in that around 17, and then watching him on stage and the lives that he's changed and the knowledge that he provided, I was like, holy cow, like you can make a living off of this and a business out of it. And that was kind of like my first time where I was like, this is what I want to do. I know this is for me. Here I am. So fast forward a couple of years, went to college, did the normal route, graduated in COVID during COVID, and then thought I was scared. Got listened to the outside world, told me that I wasn't ready. I
Hmm.
was too young to be a coach. Didn't have the skills, didn't have the life skills to really step into this, didn't have the certifications. And so I got nervous and I went and worked that 9 to 5. And that lesson was absolutely for me. I did about a year working for it wasn't even a typical 9 to 5. It was a very successful man. I was the director of operations for his company. It was 4 small businesses. And I learned the structure of business, what it means to show up, how to be disciplined through that experience, which then led me to waking up one day. I got a concussion. I know this is a very long-winded answer, but feel like I
No,
have to
no,
get
no,
the whole
that's
story.
great. No, no, you have to, like, there is so much to unpack there, but yeah,
There-
continue.
There's so much. So I got a concussion in November of 2021. And this was my 10th concussion. Like I said, I was a competitive gymnast, so gotten banged up more than what the ideal amount of concussions is. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, so I was sitting in the room, in a dark room. If you've had a concussion, you know you really can't be on screens. It hurts to think. You can't really read. It's just like you just have to be a vegetable for a couple days. And so it was a long healing process. And I was just sitting in my room and I was like, what am I doing? This is not making me happy. The person, I noticed myself, I wasn't happy and I wasn't being fulfilled. And it was because I wasn't honoring what was for me. I was doing what the world was telling me to. I had a great job. I was learning so much, but at the end of the day, I was not happy. I was living someone else's dream. And that's what made me really like get clear on like, what am I going to do? I create my reality. No one else is going to fulfill my dreams. And that's when I got so passionate about working with 20-year-olds specifically, because we wake up one day, so many of us, we go to school, we get the jobs that our parents tell us to get, we get this degree because it's important, and then we wake up and we're like, what even is my life? Like, I don't even know what it means to be happy because I've never done anything, or I've never thought for myself. And so that really got me into working with 20-year-olds and teaching them how to think for themselves and figure out what is it they're passionate about, what is their purpose, and how can they find something in their life that is in alignment with that purpose in order for them to feel really fulfilled. So a lot going on there, but that's my journey. It was a long-winded journey, as short as I can make it.
No, no, that's like a journey is not in one sentence, right? It's like it takes
Absolutely not.
time, and
Right.
like the whole thing is like development, right? Means unfoldment, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
things have to unfold in order for you in order for you to develop, right? So
Right.
that time, there's so much to unpack there. And then the fact that you are so young and you work with younger, is it
Right.
specifically women that you work with, or just young men, young women, teenagers, et cetera, et cetera?
So I work with all. I I work with younger gymnasts. So my female, I work with athletes because of the body
Mhm.
image and everything that goes into being a female athlete specifically. But then and when it comes to more children, younger kids are going to want to work with. Girls are going to want to work with girls, and guys are going to work with guys, just because that's what they feel comfortable with. But when it comes to when I work with people in their 20s and a little bit older, it's anyone. Um, I don't really have like a specific person that I would like, an ideal person when it comes to their 20s and 30s, because I
Mhm.
believe we all need help. And it's just, if you click with someone, then you click. So uh,
Yep.
it depends on who I'm working with where I really focus.
Nice. For those like 20 somethings, based on
Hmm.
your experience, like what's some piece of advice you would give them when you were in their shoes, knowing what you know now?
Um, Figure out what makes you truly happy. Not what your mom wants to do, not what your dad wants to do, not what your boss wants to do. Figure out what makes you truly happy and then work off of that.
Nice. And what, like, how did you figure out what made you happy? Like, how, like, was it like a once sort of moment, or was it like a series of events that was like, okay, this really got me. I want to do this.
So, like I said, going back to that, like I really was into the personal development thing already. So that kind of helped me figure that out. And then I very lucky to be around the people that I was when I was younger. So that also helped. But when it came to the business, I think it was just gymnastics. I always had a spot for gymnastics, and I would always be drawn back to it. So I really get focused on like, where am I always drawn back to? Another great way to find like what makes you happy is think about, what did you like to do as a child? Like, what were you doing before the world got hard and you had responsibilities, and what really lit you up as a child? And then ask yourself, like, is that something I would be interested in revisiting right now? There's a reason I liked it then. Is it something that I could possibly revisit now and like find joy with?
Awesome. Awesome. So,
Yeah.
for those that's looking for a career like yours, right? Entrepreneur, personal development, and they're starting out right now, like what are some things that they should be doing right now?
First off, just do it. Jump off the cliff and don't look back. Because I think when we think about the external world and the judgment of others and proving ourselves to anyone else, we're always going to be living for someone else. So just do it and then be consistent with it. The more that you show up, I know it's scary. And I talk about this with a lot of my clients. It's like whenever we do something that's outside of our comfort zone, of course, it's not going to be feel comfortable. Our ego likes to keep us safe. So it keeps us in the things that we do in our comfort zone in order for us to feel safe. As soon as we get out of that comfort zone, our ego is going to be like, hey, this ain't normal. So that's where the thoughts of fear and lack and scarcity of I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be able to do this. It's not my journey. It's someone else's. I could never do this that this person is doing. Whatever the thoughts are coming in your head is because you're outside your comfort zone. But the more that you can stay consistent and show up for yourself and just take one step forward and then the next, and don't think too big picture, just show up each and every day and take another step forward, the easier it will become to take those bigger leaps.
Awesome. Yeah, I always say, like, you figure it out on the path. Like, there's no
100%.
amount of books that you could read. Like, you'll figure it out, like, as you take those little baby steps. But until then, you'll just be on the sidelines. So, like,
Right.
again, the process cannot be skipped. With all of those, right, branching out to getting out of your comfort zone doesn't come easy, right? So what are the biggest
No.
challenges that you had to overcome on your journey?
Oh my gosh, I think I went through about what every single other person, and I'm sure any other person that's in the entrepreneurship space does, is the fear of judgment and the fear of not being good enough, the fear of failure, um, fear of actually my family's opinions. This is obviously not the most normal route. And of course, my parents support me more than anything. It was more my brothers that were a little uncomfortable. They see their little sister as a coach when our families kind of see us sometimes as like the worst version of ourselves.
Hmm.
So it was definitely that it was more of like the external and like, am I worthy? Can I show other people that I can do this? And that's coming from a space of proving. And when we are fully embody what we do, it doesn't matter. Like we're not going to try to prove anything. So really getting clear and working on my limiting beliefs of why am I trying to do this for someone else to prove, or is this really my journey? And if it is, again, something that I tell my clients, if it's in your heart, if there's a desire in your heart, it's yours to claim. It's not there for just a random reason. It's not just a coincidence that it's in you, because each and every single one of us on this planet are all called to do different things. So if it's in your heart, it's yours to claim and yours to go after. It's just taking that step.
That's awesome. Great. Couldn't say it better myself. So
Thank you.
tell us about your biggest wins, like your biggest successes from like even the beginning or like as recent as you've experienced.
Yeah, so I think so there's a couple, I think, and I really haven't thought about this. It's so funny, and I'm a big journaler, but like in the moment, you don't feel like you've grown that much until you really reflect and until you ask questions like this and you realize, oh my gosh, I have done so much. So I think this is a great question. I think anybody should spend some time thinking about their successes, but probably the first one was quitting my job, because that was the big, like, okay, like we're going to do this. And I came from a space of people pleasing and wanting to be enough for other people. So quitting my job and feeling like I was abandoning someone else, which again, that's the narrative I had in my head. That's not the truth. So standing up for myself, honoring what was meant for me and quitting, that's probably the first win when it came to my business and starting it. My first client, that was obviously a huge success for me and made it feel all more real. And then just moving to Florida, and this has been the best thing that's possibly happened to me, and being able to work my own schedule and continuing to learn about myself on this journey. And I never in a million years thought that I would be looking at the ocean right now at 23 in Florida. And I'm just, I'm living my best life. So that's been
Yo,
my
yeah.
biggest one, is being here in Florida.
Like you really can't replace like that journey. Like although is like I often say like it's like uncertain, like you're doubtful every
Right.
step of the way. But when you like stop and smell the roses and actually see like, wow, I really did this. Like I often say I
Right.
failed my way to success. Like if this is
Hmm.
failing your way to success, like I can't wait to fail faster and sooner, right?
Yeah,
But that's
exactly.
great. Like having like at such a young age, being able to take all those risks on on yourself and bet on yourself and for it to like actually come to fruition, that's a powerful thing. So for you youngings out there, like perfect example of just going for it, you know, especially
Yeah.
when you're this young, just go for it. I recently seen that you've completed like a 100 question
Uh-huh.
challenge.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
seeing a few of the questions. I'm like, wow, that's really like deep. Like there's a lot of, you
Hmm.
know, like how are you doing? Like what's going on in your life? But you really dug deep with those questions.
Hmm.
Like tell us how you came up with that, and like what did you notice when you completed it?
Yeah, I want to go back to what you just said about me being here and failing forward. It's something I tell my clients is the only person that's going to create your reality is you. No one's going to come save you. You have to take the steps and you have to take the action. So if you want to be somewhere, you got to take the risk. So create your reality. I actually have it tattooed. This is what this means. And so that's a great reminder to me and anyone who's listening that's scared to take that next step is you got to do it. And if it's, again, if it's in your heart, it's meant for you, hold the vision, have the faith, and you will get there, I promise. But going back to the question of the day, this was something I started when I was actually working with Garrett because a big fear of mine was posting on social media. I feel like social media is such a huge part of entrepreneurship, no matter what journey you're on, whether it's personal development or starting a clothing brand or whatever it is, you got to be on social media. And that was like, just, and it still is, it's such a learning process for me. I still could do so much better than I am, but it was just so over my head. I was like, how am I going to be consistent with this? um where do I start? I can't think of the content. I feel like my creativity when it comes to this space is lagging, and I just struggled with it. So I am a big person of challenges, and I'm someone that just likes to just see what all I can do. And so I just thought, like, what if I just asked, made myself show up once a day, at bare minimum once a day, and just asked a different question. And it started with like, we'll just see where it goes. And I was like, I'm gonna do this for 100 days. And even when I started, I was like, okay, 100 days, like we'll see if I get there. And then by day 50, I was like, all right, halfway through, am I really going to quit now? And I've already told everyone that I'm going 100 days. And so it was a
Uh-huh.
way for me to, it just really started for me just to get consistent and show up and get comfortable with TikTok and understanding like how to post and making all the captions and stuff. So it was a way for me to get comfortable and know exactly what to expect. Like as I log on, it's like, okay, I have to ask a question. Um, and so yeah, and it started, the whole premise was just to ask a question a day for people to start living a life of intentionality. That's my big motto, is just be intentional with your life instead of your life you being in the passenger seat. And so these questions were designed, different question every day, was just to get people thinking, whether they scrolled past it or they saw the caption or not. My goal was just to get someone to stop and think. And they were, as you saw, they were random. Some was about your self-image, some was about your future, some was about, do you meditate, what makes you happy, all the things, just to get you to think intentionally. And
Mhm.
yeah, so I did my 100 days, and honestly, it was great. It got me comfortable, but unfortunately I have not stuck with the social media, so I need another challenge, I think, to get me back on
Okay,
there.
yeah, like I often say, like there's a theory. It's still a working theory, but like in order for things to grow, it needs pressure and it needs light,
Hmm.
right? So, like
Yep.
for your instance, you put yourself under pressure, and the light was social media, right?
Right.
So, like again, if you are struggling with anything like growing or developing, just find a way where you can put some pressure on what it is that you're doing and some light as well, right? So challenges are a
Yeah.
great thing. Like you can do like questions 100 days, something that you can like consistently do and
Right.
show up for, however small it is. But if you can do it like out in the open and evolve, like put yourself under that pressure and that light, you'll see faster results. And then the next go
Absolutely.
round, you'll probably see it easy and different ways where you can like evolve quickly. Like universe loves
Absolutely.
speed, so the faster you can like, okay, I want to do this challenge. So one of the challenges that I've had many times on this channel was like setting a fitness goal, right? Putting my SMART goals. You heard about the SMART goals,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Putting together a SMART goal and then like taking steps to achieve that SMART goal. So put some sort of a goal out there and then just take those steps every single day. And again, like this is for optimization data. Like your mind wants proof, not promises. So the more proof you can give it, the more, the universe will organize itself to like help you achieve that said goal, right? So
Yeah.
what's the next level for you? What else you got in store moving forward?
Oh, I love this question. There's so much. Like I said, I'm really starting to tap into the children of divorce because that's just a place that I hold near and dear to my heart. And I feel like a lot of kids feel like it's their fault. And we create these narratives of being unlovable because our parents are together or unworthy or of guilt. And so the sooner that we can really address those feelings and know that you are enough and your parents love you just because they are not together and really working on through that, um, I think will provide a lot more security and sense of self and being able to be, again, just a healthier, more authentic version of you as you grow up. So that's been a huge, huge passion of mine recently. I really want to write a book. I'm going to be starting to work on that soon. I just recently came out with a course and had fun with that. And so I was like, why not write some kind of book? It's always been a goal of mine. I've always said, like, 10 years from now, I'm going to have a New York best time seller. Don't know how yet, but not worried about it. That's the future vision. And then
That's a
starting
great
to
goal,
get
by the way.
into, thank you. I love that. And public speaking, something that I've always told myself is I'm going to be kind of like a female Tony Robbins with a little bit more universal, like a little bit easier on the coaching side, but I'm going to be my own Cindy Sterrett. But that was ever since I was 17, that was my big mission. And was, so I want to get into the public speaking space and be able to give presentations and help as many people as I can in one sitting and inspire them to move forward and continue to grow is obviously just huge. But right now, soaking in the Florida sun and really focusing on these divorced children, and then obviously growing my coaching business, my main coaching business, which is that 20-year-old niche.
Okay, awesome. So for those that are looking to either take one of your courses or connect with you or even like find different avenues to work with you, what are
Yeah.
some ways that they can get in contact or connect?
Yeah, so I have a podcast myself. You can find it on Apple and Spotify. It's Seal Your Destiny. That's the name of my business, is Seal Your Destiny. I am on Instagram at Sydney_Sterrett. And then you can also look up my Seal Your Destiny page, which is pretty unactive right now, but it's Seal Your Destiny as well. And then you can have access to me. Email is sealyourdestiny@gmail.com to get a hold of that course and learn more about that. But yeah, Caesar, I would love to have you a guest on my podcast because I want to hear about you a little
Yeah,
bit more.
yeah, totally. I would
Mm.
love to. Yeah, I took a little peek of that. I'll be sure to link all of that down in the show notes.
Awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely would love to. I haven't caught an episode yet, but going to definitely check it out. Seal Your Destiny, and you said
That's right.
Spotify and Apple.
Yep. That's it.
All right, awesome. Any closing words for the audience out there? Any sort of like advice that you have for them to walk away with?
Honor what's in your heart. It is yours to keep and claim, and then you create your reality.
Beautiful. Like it seems like I want people to always dig deeper, right? Every time they hear these things, they just see it at a surface level. But if you go
Right.
like several layers deep, it will make such huge sense to you. So take the
Absolutely.
time, actually sit with these words and these lessons and these stories and see the correlation. Find that correlation, because we're all connected, right? And it just like different lens, different perspectives. So take your time, everyone, and listen, learn, and apply. Anyway, thank you so much, Sydney, for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
Appreciate you.
I had
And thank you
fun. Thank
guys. Yeah,
you.
awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Till the next time, peace.